I wanted to share with you all some interesting characteristics regards to whether the magnets are face up or if you look here, these are faced outwards of the edge. Let me turn on some more light here. Here we go. Now this wheel is not balanced. I did my best to try to balance this, but the experiment I'm going to show you here in a moment, it doesn't need to be really closely balanced, but it's pretty close. It's got some kind of hill going on here. I've fiddled and fiddled with it. I've given up. That's not how this is supposed to operate. This is just some fiddling around. I made some interesting observations and I wanted to document them and share them with you. As you all know, here's my stator, known as the James Roney stator. If you wonder how this is built inside, just go Google the secret behind the James Roney stator. It'll show you. I'm not going to take this apart. So, what I want to do here is show you that this is indeed, this is actually power in it. This is one magnet inside, and these are magnets here, of course. These are neodymium magnets. Now, this is an odd way I'm going to show this, because in my other videos I don't show it like this. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this right here and face it correctly the way it needs to be. I'm going to lift the tilt of this up just a little tiny bit. Okay. Now, the first set of magnets, let me take this away for a moment. The first set is going to see this here. It's not going to have much effect on this because of the angle and the distance. But watch what happens when it gets to this set here. And you'll notice here, these are spaced about 2 fingers apart. But after the 2 fingers apart, they're spaced really, really tight. A lot closer than 2 fingers apart. This one keeps sliding back, so I can't get this one to stay unless I tape it down. So anyway, you'll notice just generally these are tighter. They're not as far apart. And you'll notice that when these armature magnets get to the stator here, it accelerates even faster. So what I'm learning here is that the closer the magnets, the greater the acceleration and the greater the torque. Now, because the setup is not complete, typically the way this is going to be, it would be one stator here, and then another stator right here. Okay, this thing's already starting to try to take off. Okay, take that off. Anyway, it'd be one here and one over here. But if I don't fasten these down, they'll fly off and slam into those magnets. So I have to hold these for now. But anyway, I'm just showing you characteristics. That's all this is about. Okay, so let me just back this up. And I'm going to gently, I mean very, very gently, just a little nudge, just enough to get the wheel going, show you what this does here. Okay, I'm going to hold this with my hand. And in this video shot, you can see the entire wheel. Okay, you should be able to see the entire wheel. Can you? Yeah, you can see the whole wheel. Okay, so watch this. Picks a little speed, but now it gets to these, and then now it really picks up speed. Okay, so you can see the interaction of this is working beautifully. Now, watch what happens when I put this here in close proximity to these on the side of the wheel. Now watch what happens. Get this little nudge now, just a little tiny push, just enough to get it close. Let the thing just take off. Now, oops. Now the problem is that the polarities of the way this is between this and this, they fight each other because these are not angled correctly. So if I put these on the side here, then the acceleration will continue. Now, I just wanted to document these 2 different characteristics and be able to publish it on the web. I'll do this one more time. We'll put it up here. This is still interacting with this here. It still is. It's just not as well. Maybe let me try something here. Let me hold this down here maybe a little closer. Okay, be careful about this other magnet so they're up higher. I don't know, let's see here. Maybe like that. Okay, let's try that. Okay, I gotta hold this tight. Okay, we'll give this wheel a little bit of a nudge. Here we go. See, it takes off. Okay, so, but it won't keep going. I don't know, I guess maybe I should have let it go, but it's not going to keep going because it takes two stators to really get this going, one on each side. Okay, but let me just show you the characteristics. Is it going to make it? Oh, almost, there we go. Now it's going to stop. It's hard for just one stator to do all of this work. But if I had another one here as well, then the work would have been shared between two stators, and this should, and most likely will just keep going from what I've been seeing. So, I just want to mention I've gotten recent comments lately about edits in my videos during the actual test. I'm not talking about edits where I add my name or my web address or anything like that. I'm talking about edits that are dead in the middle of an experiment. Those are not edits. Those are upload glitches or glitches from the old phone I was using. Because I don't edit my videos in the middle of actually demonstrating something. I just don't do that. Also, I've noticed that when you get a cell phone really close to these powerful magnets, weird things start happening to the phone, the image in the video. And so I've learned I have to zoom in rather than getting the phone too close. So you'll notice in one of my videos with the paperclip experiment, that's what was going on, and the phone just freaked out. It glitched. Eventually I'll redo that experiment, take that video down, or leave it up and just put a link there to the new version. Because the version of the paperclip shows at the back of this, there's no magnetic field here. And people think I faked that somehow. I cheated. But I didn't cheat. If you make these yourself, you'll see that this really does perform the way it's supposed to perform. But that's not what this video is about. So anyway, just wanted to show you this characteristic. I thought it was very fascinating. I had to take off the other wheel. I've already got the other wheel that belongs down below it. So moving along here, but I haven't been around much in the last 3 or 4 days now. I have a friend that's dearly, dearly, dearly ill, and they're getting ready to go through some life-changing surgery, and they should make it through just fine, but I'm being pulled away a lot at being at the hospital, a lot. So I haven't had a lot of time to devote to this here like I thought I was here over the last 4 or 5 days. So just kind of doing this late at night, having some fun, and just wanted to share this with you all. Okay, let me speed this up just a little bit more now instead of the slow push. I'll show you the characteristics here now. I'm going to give this a little bit better push here. I want to have this right. Let's see here. Something doesn't feel right. What's wrong here? Oh, I have to put this over here. I forgot. Okay. Let me try this at an angle like this and see what happens. This is really hard to hold in place because of the magnetism wants to yank this out of my hand. Let's try that and see what happens. It's not working very good. But if I had another stator over here, it would have had momentum and it would have made it all the way back around. So as long as this front lead magnet makes it all the way to the stator, I'm pretty much home free. It will repeat. See, if it makes it, I'm home free. But we're not, it's going to stop. I have to get another stator over here set up. Okay, anyway, I've been showing this unusual results. I say unusual because based upon Newton's third law of motion, it says for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. Now I'm going to create some test equipment, very crude, very crude test that's going to demonstrate and show you and reveal that I do in fact have an imbalance. That's what Newton's third law says you can't achieve. For every action that's equal and opposite reaction. But what I've discovered here is that, let's just go to this last magnet right here on the end here, the last one here in line. When I go to push this past with my fingers, just lightly pushing, it doesn't take much of a push to get it to go through. But if I come in the other direction and pull it this way, it takes quite a bit of force to reverse this. Basically, this is a one-way stator. This is open, you can't see it, but it's full magnetic field here on the front and basically zero magnetic field here on the back. So there's less, there's full attraction on the front, and on the back side back here, there's less of attraction. So that's what causes this to go all the way through and not have a sticky spot. So if I just give this a little tiny nudge, you see it picks up speed. It wants to pick up speed where the magnets are closer and closer together. And the thing is that just as this last armature magnet's coming through here, is where it starts to want to pull back, that counter pull that Newton's third law of motion talks about. I mean, there is an opposite reaction. It's just not equal. And so just as this one is starting to come out, we will have a lead armature magnet coming into the next stator. And I'm going to share this between two different wheels, so the magnets will only go halfway around the wheel. As I explained this in my earlier videos, if I put the magnets all the way around, this will not work at all. It just comes to a dead end. I refer to it as a magnetic short. Something in the configuration just doesn't allow it. Okay, I guess that's it. That's all I wanted to share tonight. I will go ahead now and put these back where they belong on the side, and then I'm going to make another video showing this weird interaction between one wheel and the other wheel, and they pump and alternate back and forth. I realize now what's going on, and that was the energy from one wheel is transferred into the other, and that wheel has more energy and moves better, and then that energy is transferred back to the other wheel, causing this wheel to move more and the other wheel over here to move less, and then that energy transfers over here and goes back and forth. So there's nothing phenomenal or anything to get excited about, but it's just interesting the way the energy transfers back and forth between wheels. Alright, that's it. That's all the news that's fit to print here at Lake will be gone. Thank you for watching.